very warm welcome to my community. I'm Sherwood McCaskey. As always, I'm pleased that you have joined us. Over the past 3 episodes, we've taken a journey through the heart of Laff-It-Off, exploring its origins, its impact, and the unforgettable moments that have shaped this uniquely Barbadian tradition. We've heard from cast members who brought the laughter to life, who stood on the stage year after year, transforming the challenges of our society into comedy, wit, and sharp social commentary. But what makes Laff-It-Off truly special is the chemistry between its performers, the ability to respond, to adapt, and create magic in the moment. This evening, in the final episode of our mini-series, we are exploring the art of improvisation, the quick thinking and the trust that allowed these talented actors to respond creatively to whatever was thrown at them. Now, the spirit of connection and shared experiences is at the very heart of We Gather in 2025, a celebration of who we are as Barbadians, our resilience, our humor, and our unwavering ability to come together, just as Laff-It-Off has reflected the voices of the people for decades. We Gathering reminds us that our culture is alive, evolving, and shaped by the interactions we share. We celebrate the magic that happens when creativity meets community. This is Laff-It-Off, 40 years of culture, comedy, and commentary. This is the final episode.
I've been on stage with Tony where Tony threw me a line from like 5-6 pages down, and I have to think about where it was and how to get it back to where we are so that we can move the play on.
Tom Cross had this remarkable thing we used to call the bubble and burst technique. The Italians do it in comedy dell'arte, but you bring the audience to a guffaw, and when they're laughing like uncontrollably, you create a scene that just bring them right down. That was one of my moments in Laff-It-Off that I will remember. And Tom, right here in the pine, when the man got killed in Hole in the Wall. And me, I think it was me and Wendell or somebody, we used to create a real guffaw. We used to take the audience right up there, and Tom had created a song. There's a hole in the wall in this society. I don't sing. But he created a song that there's a hole in the wall in this society. And the hole in the wall became a hole in people's hearts. And you couldn't believe that the same Laff-It-Off audience that did stomping and bragging down Queen's Park Theatre was the same Laff-It-Off audience that Tom had mellowed into tears. Those are the moments I remember. Characters, I like Ramble You, Ramble, blah, blah, Ramble You, Ramble, blah, Ramble You. I love Ramble You. I love Lemuel, but there's nobody that I love in my whole theatrical career as the despicable Sybil. Sybil, right.
Oh, yeah, the Monica. But this is months and Sundays that I haven't seen you. I was telling Janice the other day that since you butt upon that fisherman, nobody don't see you now at all.
He's a captain, Sybil.
A captain or what?
A boat.
And when he take out the Tobuses, what is it, catch birds?
No, fish.
But then he's a fisherman. I mean, ain't nothing to be saying about it, it's the honest giving. Good Lord. If God had given her another brain, it would be lonely.
I will say this, Tony playing that woman, being hit with that energy full on, it could almost be knocked off stage with it.
But bless my eyesight if it ain't civil rise.
So how you think it is then.
I see you woke up on the wrong side of the cage this morning.
Yes, sweetheart. And when I checked, you had already left.
When he becomes her, that was pure energy. And you really have to have your game on because Tony is up here, so you've got to meet Tony up here. It was incredible. When he played, oh my goodness, Tony as that woman, that's one of the memories of Laff-It-Off.
As we reflect on the countless memories that have defined Laff-It-Off, one thing is certain. This production was more than just a stage performance. It was a mirror held up to society, capturing the pulse of the nation with humor, sharp wit, and fearless commentary. From the most unforgettable moments to the cleverest punchlines, Laff-It-Off was and still is a powerful voice for the people. But what exactly was Laff-It-Off? Beyond the commentary and the characters, it was a carefully crafted production that blended humor, culture, and commentary, turning the everyday struggles, triumphs, and quirks of Barbadian life into a theatrical experience like no other. It wasn't just about making people laugh. It was about making them think, reflect, and sometimes even act. And so, as the curtain draws closer on this mini-series of Laff-It-Off, let us take a closer look at what made it such a defining part of our culture. The comedy, the commentary, and the unfiltered storytelling. It is all right here in the final discussion.
Laff-It-Off was a review and a review. There's two reviews. A review meaning you look back at what happened in society that year. That became your material. But it was also a review with a VUE at the end in style. Dance, music, jokes, all kinds of strange stuff could take place and call it theatre. Two elements occurred in Laff-It-Off that were intrinsic to the whole process. One was the eclectic nature of the production, in that we drew on a variety of dramatic performance stylings. It wasn't just actors talking. They sang, they did mime, they did choirs, they did poetry, they did dance, they sang calypso, they sang almost religious operatic mock choirs. And the second element, it was to be fun. It was fun to be in and fun for the audience. We wanted people to laugh. That's the title. And laughter is a lovely feeling. When you hear people laugh, there's an enjoyment there, a source of pride in the actors getting the audience to laugh. Actors like it, to feel the laughter coming back at them. Actors enjoy that. And the nature of the laughter is important. We try to make satire the core laugh instrument, to get laughter through satire. Now, satire is a strange word. It does send up people, it sends up institutions, it mocks people. But in a friendly way, it stings. It doesn't hurt, it just stings.
I think it's been an exercise where people are beginning to look very closely at themselves, looking at their leaders, and making assessments of their own. Laff-It-Off has highlighted some of the good things politicians have done, you know. We've not only taken, as the British say, the mickey out of them, we've actually highlighted a few things that they've done. We don't only criticize. Again, as Tom says, Laff-It-Off will sting, but never hurt. Okay? And that's our credo. So we will go thus far as highlighting political issues, but we will never be disrespectful to politicians or any member of the Barbadian society. And that's, I think, what has kept us going. Our adherence to that objective has kept us going over the years.
Theatre has a long history. It goes back centuries. And every century there's a satirical style of theatre that evolved throughout the history of theatre. in Barbados, there are stories of the enslaved at Christmas time being allowed to do their own enactments, their own performances, mostly dance, but there are stories of them mocking their owners, their planters, of being able to dress up as a mock planter, so that there is a long tradition of satire. So that was an important element of the laughter, making it funny through satire. And last but not least, it was done through improvisation. It wasn't scripted, and it allowed the community of the actors to bring their own thoughts, their own lives, their own experiences into the drama. It wasn't one person sitting down and having a vision and writing it down. It was a number of actors. You got an extra dynamic coming into the production because you were getting more than one source. You weren't getting one writer, you were getting 7 or 8. And everybody, the technicians, the secretary, the production, everybody sort of added bits and pieces. Someone would bring a song one week. Somebody would maybe write a little sketch and bring it along and suggest something. In a sense, that community drama we talked about earlier became, in a sense, part of Laff-It-Off. It was a community production. It was made up of several voices, lots of voices. And somebody would have to scribble down notes as actors were. We didn't use tape recorders at the time. There's no recording phones like we have nowadays. Remember, we were talking about 40 years ago, you know, I mean, not a lot of technology around. I mean, nowadays, they don't even work with a script. It's all on the phone. The script is on their phone, and they communicate in WhatsApp groups, and they produce stuff on their phone together. Not 40 years ago. Not 40 years ago. We did it the hard way. But somebody would then go home and write up some of the dialogue that we heard and bring it back as a text. So people had lots of little bits of paper to make up the script. But it was fun.
One of the more fascinating aspects of Laff-It-Off was its dynamic interaction with the audience. No two performances were ever the same because the energy in the room, the mood of the people, and even the social climate at that time shaped each show in a unique way. The cast didn't just perform for the audience. They performed with them, reading the room, adjusting their delivery, and sometimes even improvising on the spot. Every audience brought its own personality to the show. The performers had to be quick to think on their feet, knowing when to push a joke further, when to pause for a moment of reflection, and when to respond to unexpected reactions from the crowd. Now, this connection between the performer and the audience is what made Laff-It-Off truly special. It wasn't just a scripted show. It was a conversation, a shared experience that evolved with every performance. And in many ways, this is the essence of Barbadian culture, our ability to connect, to read the moment, and to respond with wit, wisdom, and humor. Now to the importance of the audience in shaping Laff-It-Off and how the cast mastered the art of adapting to different crowd while staying true to the heart of the performance.
I think the immediacy of theater, I was even watching some Hollywood actors who are normally accustomed to the camera. Being in awe, they were now all performing on Broadway. And first time. And it wasn't so much Broadway, it was the, my goodness, we have to do this every day, 6 days a week. And if it's Broadway, you're doing it twice a day. There is no cut. Let's take that again. No. If you run the line wrong, either you keep going, and that's happened to me many times. You just kind of make your way back to wherever you are in the script. Also, you feed off the audience. So I remember if it's a weekend performance, Thursday night people have to go to work the Friday, so they're really not really into it. Friday night, yes, they're recovering from work all week. The most raucous audiences were on a Saturday and a Sunday. They'd had time to relax and they've come to Laff-It-Off to laugh. So Saturday and Sunday audiences, jokes that would work on a Saturday and Sunday might not work on a Thursday and Friday because maybe the audience wasn't with you. You feed off the audience. So the audience's responses help you to keep going, or you find yourself saying, wait, that didn't work. Let's work it some more, work it some more, work it some more. So sometimes you can more relax on a weekend audience, but really have to work on a Thursday audience. I remember when Wendell Smith passed in 2005, which was a shock. Unfortunately, it happened at the same time my uncle in Chicago passed, so I took my mother to Chicago. So I missed all of what I've heard is that extremely solemn farewell on the grave, and they sang So Long from the New Concarani Bar there. And I kept saying, can't we do something for Wendell? There was no performance at Laff-It-Off for 3 years. And then finally it was agreed that there would be a Laff-It-Off in 2008. By the way, I kept saying to the cast, you know, it's elections, right? You know, there might be, because 2007, we'd had Owen Arthur, and so everybody was going with Arthur, but somewhere around January, there seemed to be a change. And I kept saying to the cast, you know, something happening. We can't go out because we're there rehearsing continuously, but we're hearing about these mega political meetings. And as it was, there was a sea change. There was a sea change. But for that Laff-It-Off, we decided to do a wake and honor Wendell Smith. And there was a moment, so as Nucina, I would go around and throw, you know, rum on the stage. Well, hello. I had real rum. I would not do it now because I understand spiritualities, but then I didn't. I wasn't that young, but I was that naive. And I'm throwing rum on the stage, etc. And every night, something would happen. I remember Ishaka refused to sing the song twice. He said, no, he didn't like how he was feeling. He stopped and he ended it, and everybody ended and left the stage. I remember having conversations with Camo Brathwaite. And I said, Camo, we're playing this tribute. And we'd be in tears. We'd be in tears, and the audience would be in tears. The audience would see us crying. They would have memories of Wendell, and everybody be in tears and crying, remembering Wendell. So it wasn't acting, it was actually all the emotions. And I spoke to Camo and told him about it, and he said, let the tears come. Don't pull back. Tell them not to pull back. Tell them that you are reaching across. Well, you know, Camo was into everything spiritual. You're reaching across spiritual realms. You don't know what's happening, but you're making a connection. And that entire Laff-It-Off was kind of spooky. What would happen so we would perform this wake on stage when actually we were really performing a wake, and all the things with wakes could possibly happen did happen. It'd be interesting to hear the others, what they think about that, but that was quite a thing. The beauty of theatre is its immediacy, and also you go to see a play and that's it. The play will never be the same again. So even if you come the following night, the script will be the same, the characters will be the same, the words will be the same, but you don't know what's going to happen on that particular night with the audience. I think if Laff-It-Off is recognizing 40 years, it's incumbent upon Laff-It-Off to archive everything we have. Hopefully we hold some sort of exhibition. I've told you that, as far as I know, John Walker has every script. I don't. So it'd be lovely to have that archived and officially handed over to the National Archives. If we have any pieces of costume. But yes, I think Laff-It-Off needs to have a full exhibition, a full multimedia experience, perhaps a publication, which I'm very willing to work with, and capture that moment of theatre, because Laff-It-Off continues. It's a formula that has worked and keeps working. Having a moment, even if it's a 10-minute moment of the older cast with the younger cast, I think it's something they shouldn't pass up. And I know Mr. Eswit thinks marketing, and perhaps even Tom Cross. And what is it that we bring from the older Laff-It-Off to newer Laff-It-Off? That would be nice. That would be nice.
Well, 40 years is no small feat. In a world where trends come and go and audiences' tastes evolve, Laff-It-Off has not only survived, it has thrived. What's the secret? A formula that blends sharp wit, cultural reflection, and an ever-adaptive style that keeps the show fresh, relevant, and relatable. What about sustainability? It isn't just about longevity, it's about impact. Laff-It-Off has endured because it remains a mirror of society, holding up the issues of the day with humor and insight. It has successfully passed through generations with seasoned performers mentoring newcomers, ensuring that the art of comedic commentary remains alive and well. As we celebrate this milestone, we ask the question, what has kept Laff-It-Off going for 4 decades? What makes it just as powerful today as it was in its early years? What about the sustainability of this remarkable production, and why after 40 years the formula still works?
The sustainability of Laff-It-Off is perhaps what draws me to it and makes me feel a sense of achievement to be associated with a production that has lasted 40 years. We have started a tradition, and a tradition that I hope will live on and live on and live on. Even when it's no longer Sicily, when it's no longer Ian, when it's no longer, but that it will sustain itself in some form or fashion.
Any institution that can last for 40 years must be commended, particularly in the dodgy world of commercial theatre. There's others come along and fallen apart because it's difficult to maintain. And much praise must be given to Cicely and Eswick for keeping at it, keeping going. And secondly, it adds a dynamic to the society. It allows the society to do what the title says, to laugh it off, to come along at the end of the year, or nowadays at the beginning, and have a laugh at last year. You know, not everything was good, not everything's fine, but come along and have a laugh. Laugh is in a sense cathartic. You change your personality while you laugh. You enjoy yourself at that time. And I do enjoy just watching audiences enjoying it. In the course of a year, there may be disappointments and hardships and difficulties, but at least you can escape for a while at Laff-It-Off. And I don't know what it does. You'd have to ask your social psychologists and your academics as to the impact it has on society. I'm not trying to give you that answer. I just think that the fact that it has remained for 40 years must have provided society with something worthwhile.
When we started, some of the members of other theatre groups, which really boiled down to 2 theatre groups at the time, were referring to Laff-It-Off as standpipe theatre. Okay? That didn't bother me, right? Because I knew, along with Tom and Tony Thompson, what we had in mind for Laff-It-Off. I had a discussion with the Prime Minister recently, and I mentioned that, you know, I'm getting a little long in the tooth, and I was thinking about stepping down, and she asked me to do what? You know, because as far as she's concerned, Laff-It-Off at 40 is a perfect example as to what culture can do for people in Barbados. So I'm considering it, but the more I consider it, the longer in tooth I'm getting. And, you know, I would like to think that our legacy would be that we have made a contribution to arts in Barbados. I think that, along with MAD, we're the longest running theatre / comedy groups in Barbados and perhaps the Caribbean, maybe with the exception of one or two in Jamaica, but one in Jamaica, yeah. So it's been a hard, long road to travel, as our theme song says, and we've enjoyed most of it. We did have our ups and downs, and we did have our disappointments, but all in all, I think we've had a good run. And you know, when I look back on the contribution that people like the late Wendell Smith has made, and others in the passing parade, the fact that we've been able to reach 40 suggests that we've had some resilience, we've had dedication to our goal, and maybe at 40 it's time to refocus and set ourselves some new goals. And at the end of this one, I think that's what we're going to do.
Laff-It-Off has been more than just a show. It has been a conversation, a space where we as Barbadians could see ourselves, laugh at ourselves, and learn from ourselves. For 40 years, it has held a mirror up to our society, using comedy, culture, and commentary to challenge, to entertain, and of course, to unite. And that is the essence of my community. It is the people, the stories, and the shared experiences that define us. Just like Laff-It-Off, our communities thrive because of connection, creativity, and the spirit of togetherness. And as we celebrate Regather in 2025, we recognize that our heritage is not found just in monuments or history books. It is alive in our stories, in our humor, in the way we come together no matter where life has taken us. Laff-It-Off reminds us that we are a people of resilience, intelligence, and boundless creativity. And as we close this special series, we celebrate not just 40 years of laughter, but 40 years of identity, of belonging, and of home. Laff-It-Off, my community. We gather in 2025, different names, one story, one Barbados.